Warning, this is an adult-oriented podcast about really perverse things like communication and consent. Kids, get off my lawn! If you're under 18 and looking for answers to questions about sex and kink, fucking kids, please visit scarletteen.com. And for you Dude Bro listeners, this is nerdy shit. Fuck off!
Somebody help that poor submissive!
Look, up there in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane?
Is that a flogger? Someone's gotta be having a good time.
As the kink signal shines brightly in the night sky, we know that there is fuckery afoot.
What kind of fucking town is this?
No worries, as they've listened to the Gotham Press beforehand, so all will be safe, sane, and consensual.
Well, that's reassuring.
Right?
Yeah, but what's the Gotham Press?
What is the Gotham Press, you ask?
It's about time you tell us, don't you think?
Well, I'll let the Cape Crusaders themselves educate you on that.
Okay, so today's category for Final Jeopardy is plagues that almost wiped out the population of the world.
Bum bum bum
No.
bum 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 ba da 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 dum 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 da 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 dum da 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 dum 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 boom boom.
Shock Doc, what is
Yes.
your final answer, please?
What's the Great Plague of 2020?
Oh, so close. We were looking for 2019.
Oh, God.
That's right, you guys are dumb.
You are now listening to the world-famous Gotham Press podcast.
Gothamites. Thank you for coming back, even though Greedy is coughing at you all. He had the corona.
Oh, you're so full of shit.
He even has a lime to go with his corona.
Courtesy of Captain Awesome.
And,
Bunner. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Bunner. Bunner's in the audience.
Bunner is in the audience.
We will not leave anyone out.
Hey, Lala.
Hi.
Have you been affected by the corona yet?
Yes,
You have the corona?
with lime.
With lime. Mm-hmm. Okay. Shock?
Yes, my friend.
Hey, Shock's here, by the way.
Hi, Shock.
Welcome, Shock.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, dear God, we have a guest? Another guest? A studio audience member?
Studio audience member.
Where's your stilettos?
Hey, we'll get to that another time.
Another episode, I'm sure.
Another episode.
Gothamites, welcome back to the Gotham Press Podcast. Hopefully today is finding you well whenever you're listening to this, because it's a pandemic now, right?
Yeah, the world is upside down.
All right, so the pandemic of 2020 that started in
2019. Technically, it's the pandemic of 2019. Because it started in 2019 in a little town called Wuhan, China. Is that it?
I will take your word for that. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
I am agreeing with you. Yes.
I hope I'm pronouncing
Because
that right.
they ate bat soup.
Bat soup?
Yes.
Well, that's just bats.
Well, at least it wasn't batshit crazy like some of these things.
You made the joke before I made it. I'm so proud of you. I was this close to doing it. No, I was deciding. I don't know. Is that too unsensitive? Fuck it. No, and then you bring it out. So
Have you been on this podcast before?
no. This is my first time.
Hey, Shock, do you know where you can find us?
I hear that you can be found on all my favorite podcatchers.
It's
Yeah.
true.
What about Patreon?
You can find us on Patreon.
What?
I'd like to thank really quick our patrons because they fucking rock.
That they do. And you can join to be one of those patrons for as little as $1 a month. And you can help this podcast thrive.
Thrive.
We need to get a new board so we can do that.
I know.
Crazy enough, we just got a new run of stickers that we'll be sending out to all of our patrons in just a couple of days. So patrons, hit us up with your email address.
No,
okay?
not email address.
Not email address. Wow, I'm so stuck on email.
Don't
Hit us up with your physical address via the email.
Real quick, I believe that on Patreon that when they sign up, it gives a mailing address for them as well.
Oh, it does?
I believe so. I have to recheck
All right,
that to
please
verify.
do. Please do.
The Well-Informed Gotham Podcast coming to you.
Gotham Press Podcast, sir. The well-informed
We
guest.
don't talk about the Gotham podcast, the splitters.
So here's a really quick question. What the hell's going on with the world? Anybody?
People are losing their shit.
So interesting you phrase it that particular way. Because they're
Why?
also buying up a bunch of toilet paper. Oh, you just got
Funny.
that.
That is actually funny.
Wow, that was actually an unintentional pun.
I just want to know who in their right mind uses 400 rolls of toilet paper in 14-day quarantine.
I'm going to be really curious to see the recipes they come up with for all that toilet paper because they didn't stock up on the groceries that they'll need for 14 days quarantine.
Also, they didn't stock up on things to wash with, like, soap and all that.
Well, actually,
or
they
hand
did.
sanitizer.
It's hard to find antibacterial soap right now.
Oh, really?
Yep, and hand sanitizer and wipes. And in fact, if you're not having a baby, stop buying the baby wipes because babies need those.
Those babies will survive. They're young.
No, I actually prefer using wipes because you get cleaner and it takes less of them.
TMI.
Hey,
Is that
no,
where you?
It's not.
Is that where you carry the baby to the kitchen sink where you have the spray nozzle and it becomes an immediate bidet?
Wow.
Because it's an option, but you might want to clean up pretty well after that as well.
Yeah, that's where bleach comes in handy, which is also on that list of unattainables.
Yeah.
If you all don't know, and I don't know how you don't know, we're talking about the pandemic of the coronavirus, COVID-19.
Thank you, CDC, for relabeling it from coronavirus, because I'm sure the Corona Beer Company is losing their minds.
Oh, they lost a shit ton of money.
Oh, no doubt. No
Yes.
doubt. I'm almost tempted to go buy a 24-pack just to support them a little bit.
Just support them.
Well, a young man told me the other day that Corona was going to pay $1.5 million to have the name changed to Bud Light virus.
I heard that as well.
That would be amazing.
That was a beautiful bit of trolling that Corona actually did on Twitter. So bravo, Corona, for your troll of Bud Light.
That was very
Well
funny.
done.
Yes, funny.
But this is actually becoming a really serious thing because places are just closing down left and right. There's this place, it's a little famous, not really, Disney, I think.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they are closing down, I believe, because today is Sunday. I believe they started closing down yesterday everywhere.
Yeah.
Like all of their locations.
As of yesterday, Disneyland, Disney World, around the world, have closed their doors.
SeaWorld, Universal Studios in Orlando and California.
Magic Mountain.
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest is closed.
Well,
both on
Mount
the
Everest
China-
isn't a Disney location.
I know,
No,
but
no,
we're just
but-
naming all the places.
Yeah.
Well, neither is Magic Mountain yet.
The Smithsonian, the White House, shows on Broadway,
Everywhere.
everything, even locally.
Okay, we have to go to a liquor store and get some of that just
You
to
have
do it.
to say what it is so
Okay.
the listeners understand.
For the listeners, I'm gonna.
Just say what it is.
Would you mind sending me?
He's
going to
describe a picture in words.
All right, so real quick. Hello, greetings, mistress.
Hi, mistress.
She's waving.
Everyone saw it.
Yes.
My beautiful bride is not really a stand in front of the microphone and talk kind of gal.
No, or in front of people and talk.
Okay, can we say what she showed us though?
Yes, she showed me and Lala a picture of somebody going to a liquor store, and there's a picture of a bottle of Corona, and a bottle of virus vodka.
Wait, what?
Virus vodka.
And it has like the
seriously.
poison emblem. Or...
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
it's got the biohazard symbol on
Oh,
it.
that's what it is. The
Yes.
biohazard.
And I have to go get this combination now. I'm going to buy a case of Corona and a bottle of virus vodka. Apparently, they found the antidote.
The antidote.
Tongue in cheek, I've been telling people for a week that a Corona and lime is an inoculation. It really isn't, but I thought it was an adorable.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to Disney. So all of these parks are closing, but they're going to leave their hotels open and the city walks open. Well, there's
That's not inviting chaos.
just as many people on City Walk as in Disneyland. So that's a little...
That's a little much.
Disney will be paying their workers, though, during the shutoff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And they will have some employees stay there at the park to take care of whatever animals
Oh yeah,
need to be.
Animal Kingdom's an important one. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's not like they don't have $500 trillion in reserve. I mean, Disney is what, the second largest corporation in the world?
They're only second?
Only behind the banks.
Oh. Well, it's like, how are they second? They own everything.
They've also, not just Disney, but there's also been a lot of postponement or freezing of movie and television productions. Anything that basically brings a crowd together like that.
Oh yeah. Police aren't even coming out.
That's what I saw an article link about today.
That?
Yeah.
I read that article, and that was a little bit confusing. I'm not sure I really understand.
Unless it is a life or death sort of situation, they're pretty much, hey,
Take care of it yourself.
Yeah, my XYZ got stolen or is missing. Well, we can't spare an officer right now for that, so we'll put in your report, but that's about the best we can do.
Does that mean there's going to be like looting and
I'm
No,
waiting.
I don't doubt that.
I am waiting for that.
some
I don't think
Watts
it's gonna happen
stuff
here.
going on?
It does mean that if you're in a minor fender bender, then you'll probably not get a police to show up and do a police report.
Right.
That kind of thing.
They have more pressing matters on their hands.
Like toilet paper theft.
Yeah.
I typically have faith in human beings, but when you see the sheer number of people that simply treat this kind of situation as a profit opportunity by trying to hoard things to resell later, it really, really kind of shatters part of my faith in
Not
humanity.
only are people hoarding, but the stores themselves are raising the prices on these items.
Oh, I didn't realize
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah, a case of water for $12.
Jeez.
Yeah.
As opposed to $2.79 at Costco for 40 bottles.
Right? Oops, sorry. And I work in the medical field, and to order face masks, they're all on back order, and the ones that are available, they're charging 3 times the amount. Yeah. So normally I can get a box of 50 for $6-7, and they're wanting like $28.
Oh, dang.
For a box.
My own personal opinion is if you see this as an opportunity for you to run out and buy pallet loads of shit to haul home to your garage to screw your friends and neighbors over for a markup as a good way to stock your bank account, you're a terrible human being.
So I saw 2 things. I've seen 2 stories this week. One made me laugh. The other one was like, oh. One was local. There was a guy that said he was in a hazmat suit, looked more like a beekeeper's outfit. Downtown.
I know the guy.
You actually know that guy?
I know the guy. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll call him D, but it was actually a bomb suit.
It was actually a bomb suit.
He is a former what's ordnance
Bomb technician?
Yeah. EOD.
Okay.
He's former military.
Okay.
So he actually has the full get up still. It was his issued blast set. So he's got the full mask, he's got the full hood, and all the heavy duty explosive resistant stuff. And he's carrying a sign with 3 on a stick with 3 rolls of toilet paper up the stick. Toilet paper, $100 a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that guy.
I know that guy.
Wow. And the other one was from, I can't remember where it was at, basically at a private school somewhere. Kid is selling squirts of hand sanitizer for 50 cents a pop.
Kids are on it. I bet
Profiteering. All right. No, so I saw a story as well that it just made my stomach churn. This dude in, I want to say upstate New York, drives a U-Haul van around his state and a few other surrounding states when this whole thing was just starting, buying up all the bleach, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, all the basic commodities that you'd expect for people to freak out about.
Yeah.
And putting them into his U-Haul, buying everything out of all the stores he visited, putting them all into the U-Haul and bringing them back to his place, stocking his garage, just so he could sell them, marking them up and putting them on eBay. The laughter comes in when eBay slapped him and other sellers like him with "You are now banned from eBay." So now he's got a shit ton of stuff stuck in his garage and he can't sell it to anybody.
Wow.
So fuck him.
Well, here's the thing. I hope his neighbors all know that he did that.
Oh, yeah.
So that way they know exactly where to go to ransack.
I hope his neighbors are well armed.
Oh, God.
There's been memes about people being in the stores buying all the bottled water and toilet paper and all that stuff. And the dude is just, loading magazine after magazine, says, I hope you have fun with those crowds because I'll be coming for that toilet paper.
Oh,
And that's when it took a dark turn.
Oh, yeah.
Very
yeah.
dark.
I like dark turns.
so Greedy,
Yes.
do you remember Pokemon Go?
Yes, I do.
Apparently, you don't have to go outside for Pokemon Go anymore because of
Hell
Corona.
yeah.
They basically have changed up things because they know that the government actually, what was it? The government said officially, at least here in the state of California, that you can't have groups of over 250, I believe.
Yeah, 250.
So Pokemon Go's like, you know what? You're going to be at home for a while. Here, we will just give you a very discounted, what is it called? Lure. So you can just have Pokemon come to you at your home. So it's like, got like 30 of them for like one coin, which usually they would cost like 150 or something like that.
Okay, this is one example of hoarding that I might do.
That's one example.
Stock up on a bunch of them and...
No, I think you can only do one. I went ahead and, even though I barely started on my Pokemon Go anymore, I went on to see it and I bought one and then it was just, the offer was just gone after that.
Huh.
So I believe you get 30 of them for the one coin, which means that people probably were done with that within that first day of it being available.
Yeah.
But still, that's a game that was supposed, the whole thing about that is go and be around your people. Now it's do not go outside.
Was Pokemon Go? Now it's Pokemon do not go outside.
Do not go past go. Do not
I think
collect.
that's the joke we were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I try to do my part.
And then this kind of saddened me. Even though I've never been to the convention, I still say I want to go. E3, the biggest video game convention in America, not closing down, but canceling for 2020. Now E3 isn't until June. They've already canceled the event and are looking to do a type of digital event. Hey, we're going to record all this stuff so you can watch at home and not get people sick, which sounds great and good, right?
Okay.
My problem is, what does this mean going forward? Because if this goes really well, does that mean that events and conventions like that are all going to take that same path of, hey, we don't have to get an entire venue anymore. We don't have to rent out for people to work at said venue or anything like that. Now it's just, we'll just record things and have people watch it online.
So it becomes a TED Talk.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Though I've always kind of mocked the idea that, electronics are an example, and specifically televisions. And you're at home on your shitty rear projection TV, and what you're watching is the display on this high-end LED television, and you're still watching it through your shitty rear projection monitor going, it doesn't look that good to me. So, you lose something by not being on site to see these dazzling electronics in person.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, not only that, you lose the socialization and the excitement and the ambiance and the adrenaline and the excitement, and everybody need that.
And the chance to for say a comic convention to go through those comics one at a time and discover those little gems that you hadn't even thought about.
Exactly. Because I know that if it comes to, hey, we're just going to do a fully digital event in the future, I'm going to miss a lot of things.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because if you're actually on site and you're seeing these things and, oh, hey, here's that thing that I'm walking past I would never even thought of.
Yeah.
But if I'm just at home watching online,
you're only going to be exposed to what you would normally expose yourself to.
Exactly. Even if I put in just E3 stuff. Mm-hmm. Sure, here's the whole list, but that doesn't look that interesting. That doesn't look that interesting. Oh, that's what I want to see. And I watch that and okay, I think I'm done for now. That worries me, honestly.
You just lose the whole experience.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't go that way, because when we went to WonderCon,
yes,
that was a new experience for me.
And I'm pretty sure WonderCon's probably closed down by now, too.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I'm wondering, what I'm really, really wondering, is this going to go on long enough to where Comic-Con shuts down for the year?
I hope not.
That would be, I don't even know the kind of backlash that would have.
I do think the real tragedy in a worldwide pandemic would be the loss of Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we can all hope that it just blows over quickly, as several politicians have said it will. We
yes,
understand
because
that
politicians know everything.
Oh yeah, I know.
They never lie either.
No. They never lie. Hold your nose, Pinocchio. That being said, we do have some really great medical professionals leading up the fight, and I do believe they're going to make the win.
I hope so. One thing that I did read it just kind of made my heart go, good. Betty White's still alive and kicking. Her Twitter account got bombarded by people trying to say, "Are you still alive? Are you okay? Betty White better not die. Dear God, I hope Betty White's fine." Because, Betty White is a national treasure. Much like Stan Lee was before his untimely death.
Agreed.
Betty White's still a national. She's 98.
Well, hopefully she lives to that century mark and well beyond.
Hopefully.
She may be the ticket to immortality.
Yeah. But an official responded on her Twitter to say she's fine. She has not contracted any sort of disease right now. Everything's good.
So if Betty White is the ticket to immortality, do I have to rub her all over myself or step into her like the Fountain of Youth in order to become immortal? Is she a gateway into the dimension of immortality? Do I pass through Betty White into the vast unknown?
She licks you.
I'm gonna go with you have to rub her all over.
Rub her all, okay.
Let's talk about the financial hardship that this is causing for people.
Okay.
That's
Well, I'm just about broke, so that sucks.
the theater industry and the sports industry and
because what was it, NBA or NFL? One of the two.
All of them.
All of them
at this point.
Yeah.
Because I know I saw soccer canceled.
At this point, all national sports leagues, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, they're all closed down until further notice. So
some are canceling the ending of seasons. Some are postponing the season until later on in the year. But yeah, it's basically brought a halt to it.
NCAA canceled March Madness.
Yeah, I can.
That was a big one.
Because they cannot draw in that larger crowd without fear of spreading this more.
It's a responsibility thing, I think. Groups not wanting to spread it further, groups not wanting to look like they don't care about the public health. It's all a matter of responsibility.
Yeah. And that's even hit home for us here in Bakersfield in our own little play space we call the headquarters, because we have basically made the decision to go dark at least until the third weekend in April. We're looking a month out. Hopefully things will settle down and the guidelines will change and we can pick up events again. But in the meantime, just to minimize the risks, we're following the basic guidelines of no crowds. We don't have the capacity to have people over and keep 6 foot distance. It would be impossible. So basically, we're just putting all our events that take place at the headquarters, they're just all going dark in the meantime.
So we could always do like a local grocery store did and only have so many people in at once.
That sounds like tremendous fun, Cap.
Of course, nobody can do a play scene because 6 feet apart, everybody.
Right.
Well, unless you're whipping.
You could run single tails. You could.
So let's go back to the financial thing.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys keep going on these tangents. Just so you guys know, PG&E is not going to be shutting down anybody for lack of payment right now. I believe you have extensions on your mortgage. You still have to pay it after the fact. You have to make it up, but they're not going to turn off your power or kick you out of your house
at
this
great.
point. I don't know about the other electrical or water or gas, but utilities. Thank you. But I'm sure they're going to follow suit because it's.
What was it? I saw something for Verizon. I think Verizon and AT&T at this point. I haven't checked on any of the other cell phone companies. They basically said, "Hey, you are good. We are not going to have any caps or anything for." I think they said till next month. It was when I read it
for internet, right? Or
for internet and for even though everybody basically has free phones, not free phones, but unlimited minutes. They're like, "Hey, even if you're on those plans." Just call, make sure you're safe, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because this is scaring a lot of people. No, this podcast is not scaring a lot of people, but this pandemic is scaring.
It is scary.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I think this podcast does scare some people.
It
I
is.
hope it does.
It is scary. This illness has spread over 110 countries in just 3 months.
It's now in every state in the U.S. as well.
Yeah.
So
It is a little scary.
Even Alaska got it?
even Alaska.
No.
Yeah.
It didn't get frozen?
No.
Well, and
They aren't just going to let it go.
effectively, it's grinding the economy to a halt.
Yes, that's true.
And I could even see that in my own business. I have a little one man particular type of business, and sales in the last week have been very off.
Wow.
The appointment schedules aren't coming in, and I kind of don't expect them to.
And I have my own business, and all of my events have been canceled. That's a lot of money I'm not going to make now.
Yeah.
My other extra job, every show in the convention center has been shut down. In fact, Cirque was just here. They were supposed to actually do loadout tomorrow. They did loadout
Canceled.
yesterday and went home, and they're canceling the tour.
Oh, wow.
So
Because I know.
it's horrible.
I was like, I have a family member in the medical field, and I was talking to her 2-3 days ago, and she was telling me that even the people in the medical field are kind of like, it's a flu, and they know that, hey, this isn't going to affect everybody, but they have so many people just kind of coming in, hey, I have this, but the main problem is that unless they can prove it in a lot of states, the CDC is not going to send them the test kit, because like, hey, unless they have these specific things, we can't risk the test kits that we have because we don't have enough.
Right.
It's almost like we weren't properly prepared for a pandemic. Somehow, after shutting down the pandemic team that's supposed to deal with that as a cost-cutting measure.
Say it ain't so.
I heard a rumor that Kern County doesn't have the tests because they can't afford it.
I
Did
don't
anybody
doubt
hear
that.
that?
I have not heard that, but I don't doubt that.
I don't have that
Yeah,
information.
someone else, audience members, thumbs up. Yes, that's true. We can't afford it. That's crazy.
Wow. And then this whole situation, I'm not scared like a lot of people are. I'm not scared of the disease like a lot of people are. Like, I understand it can affect many people. It has a long incubation point. But
Period.
I'm in the age range where I don't, quote unquote, have to worry about it. I'll be sick for a while, but I'll get better. And even the older people that this is a scary thing for, I've seen stories of older people recovering as long as they, take care of themselves and have been taken care of. So this whole thing is just stupidity. The stupidity of people saying, oh my God, this thing is happening halfway around the world or even in my backyard. It's not affecting me, but damn it, I'm scared.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I'm just more cautious.
Right. Be cautious.
I'm just cautious. Wash my hands more.
Yes, that's the other thing. Quit buying fucking toilet paper. It's not a shitting disease.
Well, my concerns aren't for my specific health, because I'm robust, I'm healthy, I have a really well-tuned immune system. But the problem is, I don't want to accidentally carry it to somebody else.
Right.
I don't want to give it to somebody that's immune compromised. I don't want to put somebody else in that position, as why we stopped hosting events.
Right.
And the other part of that is, it is killing people.
It is. No, I'm not saying that it's not killing people.
And one sign of success when you treat something this seriously that can kill lots and lots of people, has that potential, is you don't see that the great number of deaths that could be there, and that simply means that the response to it is doing its job.
Right.
By people staying home, by us canceling events, by all of us writing out this economic crash that we're basically stuck in, is that we don't have the rate of worldwide deaths that could be there. Hopefully we're not overwhelming the medical system completely. I know they're taxed to the limit. They're bound to be, but not completely overwhelmed. And that's the whole idea. It isn't that the disease instantly goes away. It isn't that nobody dies. It's that we minimize that stuff. And I think in that, following the guidelines is successful because you don't see the worst outcomes. Sure. And I know sometimes people will look at that, well, I don't see 15,000 people dying a day, so this was a waste of time. That's the whole point. That's the whole goal by being overly cautious, etc.
Yeah. One more thing I was going to say about that. my family member I was talking about, she was saying that in her professional opinion, she thinks that honestly, it may be more widespread than they're letting on, but because it's not immediately like, people are getting deathly ill and people are dying from it, they're not letting on. And my thing is this, if they did that, they did say, hey, this many more people are infected, but it's okay. That may help the mindset of some people.
It may help with some, but you got to ask yourself as well, considering that human beings are stupid as a whole. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't individuals that are smart. There are some fucking smart individuals, but humanity as a whole is fucking stupid and reactive and emotional, and we tend to make really bad calls when a little thing like this gets blown up to us. So are they doing the right thing by not saying that this is more widespread than it is? Are they doing the right thing to keep that chaos, that insanity from spreading? Because we've already seen what happens when there's no toilet paper. Imagine if the CDC or whatever officials came out and said, well, we actually have 300,000 confirmed cases in California. What would happen if that happened?
That is a very good question. I do not have the answer to.
I appreciate your relative, and I would very much like to speak with your relative on that opinion they gave. That it's.
Is that going to be the next podcast?
No.
I'd be down, but
no.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I can't help but wonder: are they making the right call? If it were in fact where it is more widespread than they're announcing, are they making the right call by holding that information back?
But in the same aspect, that's all speculation too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to imply that this is actual fact.
Right.
I hope that nobody takes it as such. I'm just saying, if then, this is just a hypothetical argument.
Gotcha.
Yay for.
Well, I think we've all heard so much about this. Let's move.
Yeah.
Let's move something more fun to talk about.
I think that's a good call.
Oh, real quick, Greedy, did we talk about you and your cure for corona with Lyme?
Oh, you asshole. No, so I have an upper respiratory infection. I still can't say that right.
That's why we have him wrapped in plastic at the moment.
Yes, Bubble Boy.
He's into that sort of kink.
So yesterday I'm coming out of my room and I get intercepted by Captain and his Bunner. And Bunner is carrying a little platter with a lime cut in half. And I want to say her words were, "This is from my sir to go with your Corona." And she hands me the fucking plate with a lime on it.
Yes. Not only the plate that you assisted her with finding.
That I assisted her in locating. She asked me to help her find a platter. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, it's something for my sir. Okay, yeah, I understand that, I like to do things for my mistress, so okay, I'll give you a hand. I help her find it, I go back to my room, 10 minutes later I come out, and she's got a fucking lime for me. I felt so betrayed.
But you laughed.
Yes, yes I did.
You loved it.
It was funny. It was well-timed, it was well-executed, it was funny.
Good job, you
Well
two.
done, sir. Expect something in return.
Hey, Lala, how you doing? You want to talk about something else, right?
Yeah. Well, first let's give the word of the day.
The word of the day?
Yeah, why not?
What is the word of the day?
It's something that I am not currently.
What aren't you?
Healthy.
Healthy. Healthy can be the word.
Healthy is the word of the day.
We need people to be healthy.
Bubble Boy Greedy isn't healthy.
Right.
So shoot us a message at area code 805-303-1173. Text Candy Sweetbox. Call into Candy Sweetbox. Let her know. Let us know that you're okay, because we actually do care about our listeners. I mean,
yes.
They may be spread all over this world, but every one of you is part of us.
Oh.
I hope I touched them in parts that they didn't expect to be touched in on this podcast.
Well, and for me, I've been training my immune system all my life. Eating that stuff off the floor, they said it was insanity, but I see it as long-term health strategy.
It's funny. When I was at work on Thursday or Friday, one of my coworkers said, Easiest way to beat this is lick everything. You'll become immune.
Something tells me that coworker is not going to survive the apocalypse.
No, I'm sure they'll be fine. It's funny. Just lick everything. It's like, I don't know if that's exactly how you want to
Stop
beat this.
licking your mic screen. Oh my god.
It wasn't. That was greedy, not me.
Well, it's an interesting hypothesis, but then we need a control group that licks nothing.
Well, sir, I do believe you can lead that control group.
I really have no interest in that.
We need to.
Let's talk about kinky stuff because that's what this podcast is about, right?
75 minutes into the podcast, let's start talking about kink.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. What I wanted to bring up to this particular episode was age and kink. Well, age versus kink, really.
Okay.
Like
Versus?
because
Is it like Street Fighter? Age versus kink. Big fight!
Wow, that was loud.
it was, but that was great. Kind of like that. Kind of a fight. It's a matter of as we all get older, what happens to our kink? Like me, I started getting into kinky things in my mid-30s.
Well, now I know
early
why.
30s.
I was invited on the podcast this afternoon.
He knew ahead of time. Greedy,
Yeah.
what age did you start getting into kink?
Well, if we're going with my first little bit of curiosity, I'd say it was probably around 17. If we're starting, or if we're saying based off of the first time I actually went to a dungeon. And
Yeah, the first
had a
time you actually
scene.
went to an event.
Oh, that was about 10 years ago. So 27.
27. All right. Lala?
29? 30?
I think you were
Oh, so we started
28
about the
when I
same
met
time?
you.
Oh, 28?
28.
28.
That's how I remember it.
All right.
Okay. And Shop?
I would have been in my mid-30s the first time I attended a kink event in person.
Okay. All right. So from that point, you got into kink. You started doing things. When you got in, was there an older crowd in the kink lifestyle at that point?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was a well-mixed crowd. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of people 18, 19 years old, but at the time, I want to say it was 21 and older, yeah?
No, not by the time you started. One of the things that I always did was because people would suggest that it could only be 21 and older because we would do certain events at bars.
Mm-hmm.
And I always resisted that. I always made the argument that if you're old enough to serve in the military and vote, you're old enough to have the resources that a kink community provides. You're a grown adult. You should be able to come to events.
Some of our audience is laughing right now. Military personnel.
So the reason I'm bringing this up, you've been doing kink since about then. And as you said, Greedy, you've looked into things far before you actually came out to things.
Yeah.
Like for me, I looked into things long before I actually came out to things. When you first start coming around and you see the spread of people, old, young, all this, what's the difference in that? Like you see the younger people willing to do whatever and everything, anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, and I'm asking you specifically, Greedy, as far as what you saw in that, the older people, did they say, "Oh yeah, go do all these wild things," or were they kind of like, maybe not, slow down some?
Yeah, the advice I got was don't rush into it all. You can experience it over time, but if you rush into it, you're going to burn out. What's the term they use for that? Burnout.
I would say burnout.
So if you
are you referring to sometimes referred to as sub frenzy or dom
yes,
frenzy?
yeah, frenzy.
Yes.
That's what I was.
You could say newbie frenzy. That would also apply as well.
Yes.
I think that is appropriate because it encompasses all sides. Because eventually, at some point, all of us were noobs.
Yeah, everybody wants to do everything.
Yes, but if you try and rush in and do 17 scenes in one night, you're going to exhaust yourself.
How many did you get in, Greedy?
One.
Just one.
Just one, and it was a wonderful scene. I was scared shitless going into it, but it was.
That's what you wanted. Well,
Yeah.
what you found out that you didn't want.
It was what I found out I actually wanted. So, but yeah, going into it, the consensus was slow down. Have fun, enjoy individual things, and find out what you like, and then start combining them.
Okay.
How about you, Captain?
As far as
when you first got into it?
when I first got into it, I actually went to one of the can't remember. It was for one of the younger groups, like 35 and under group.
So like
Often-
TNG.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a TNG type group.
often referred to as TNG. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody that was there, the people that were like, again, I didn't actually start going to things until I was early 30s. So I wasn't that 18-year-old that just came in and saying, yeah, I want to do it all, man. But I did come in with that mindset of, okay, this is very interesting to me. I want to see everything I can.
Okay.
So I went in and I observed a lot. I watched. And then when I felt like, okay, I actually do want to get into some of these things, I actually went around and started asking, like, hey, I haven't done this, and I don't know how this feels, what to expect with this. Can you try this on me real quick so I can know what I'm doing to somebody? That's how I went about it. But that's not the way that everybody does.
Okay.
All right, Shock, when you first started going into things, what did you do?
I think the first public scene I did was I flogged,
Okay.
and we did it in a public, it was a private house where they were having a party. We did it upstairs, and I approached the subject quite cautiously.
Cautiously?
Yeah, I'd never flogged anybody. So basically confined it to flogging her ass and her hips, and did so through her jeans, not directly to her bare skin, and didn't try to hit her super, super hard, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Just basically give her a taste of it and give me a feel for it as well.
Okay. All right. Lala?
You're asking about my first experience or what it was like age-wise?
What was it like for you going in for your first time to a thing?
Well, I mean, my first thing was a munch, so it was
Still, what was it like going into that?
it was a small little group, and it was intimidating.
Intimidating?
Oh yes, because I sat across a certain individual with blazing blue eyes who stared me down.
Is it the same individual that you're sitting across from now?
It might be.
Did those blue eyes just bore into her soul?
She was fucking adorable. And she was receptive.
Again, what do you mean was adorable?
Oh, no, true. Absolutely true.
But going back to the age thing,
Yes.
everyone was older than me.
Everyone was older?
Yeah,
I think, probably, yeah.
yeah, everyone was older. So
Okay. So, as a younger person coming into it then, younger at the time,
at the
obviously.
time,
All right. What was your outlook on that when you first came in? Like, oh my God, I'm the youngest person here. What am I doing here? Was it like that or?
not really. No, it wasn't like that. I think like later on, as we got our group established more and more people were coming in, the old guard, there was a good group of old guard people there, and they were dumb. They were the type that expected everyone to call them sir or mistress.
Honorifics, as it's referred to.
Okay, thank you.
Real quick, I'm pretty sure we've spoken on this on the podcast before. What is old guard?
Leather, help.
They considered themselves to be leather from a previous age that they had a specific set of rules for. However, I think quite often that interpretation was just stuff people had read online. So they had this belief that before they got there, it was all a well-established set of rules about leather, etc., which I don't think necessarily were universal or specifically applied to their experience, but that's how they imagined it, and that's how they expected other people to be, because that's how they pictured the lifestyle.
Oh.
So when they saw a young lady like me come in, automatically they expected me to yes sir, no sir. But in my attitude, from what I learned and read and experienced online, because that's how I did it, no, you have to earn my respect before I'm going to call you sir. And even today, like, I'm not going to just willy-nilly call anyone sir. It's,
Not anyone.
yeah.
Just special
But the
people.
older generation, they
At that point, at least.
thought that I was disrespectful and probably,
They thought you were disrespectful?
oh, yeah.
Have they met you?
Yeah.
Well, see, and because she and I got involved in this community at about the same time, it was my experience, and it's been the thing I've taken away from that, is if you show up at a community, or in this case, a newly formed community, and you have this expectation that everybody's going to automatically hand you respect and give you the yes sir or the no or yes ma'am automatically because you put a capital letter in front of your name when you were typing this shit out online. I didn't have any respect for that attitude, and I still don't. I don't, I'm a dominant. I consider myself, I have a good sense of who I am. And when I meet people, I have no expectation whatsoever that they're going to give me that honorific or any other. They don't have to. That's not required for my particular ego. And that was what I felt like it was their egos needed to be serviced by constantly being referred to as sir or ma'am by everybody. And that, to me, that's a character flaw.
I can go with that. Character flaws all around.
That's just my experience with the older people. Not the little niche group that I walked into at the pizza parlor. They weren't like that.
Okay.
They were all very welcoming and funny and friendly, and
they kept you around.
They kept me around.
All right. Well, from that then, and this is for everybody, what have your ideas of kink evolved into? Like, there's that first thought, like for me personally, when I first came in, I'm like, oh shit, it's going to be sex and people being beaten and naked women all around. Oh God, this is going to be great.
Some of that's true.
It is. But again, that was my first thought, that was all it was. And then coming in and being in for as long as I have now, my ideas have changed. They become more, all right, we are people, just people. And when we come out to parties, we're still just people, but maybe we want to do a little bit of a pomp and circumstance, dress up a little bit,
yes.
Show off some. And that's just kind of how things with me have evolved of, okay, it's about the kink, not about necessarily the sex. The sex is great, but it's about the kink.
Yeah.
What about you all? Lala?
Come back to me.
Greedy?
I'm having trouble following exactly what you said.
Okay. Where did I lose you?
Reroute.
Okay.
What are you asking?
All right. So your ideas on kink. When you first came into kink, you had a specific idea of what it was going to be. How have your ideas on that evolved? How have they changed from point A to now?
My ideas of it when I first came in were, I wonder if it's going to be everything that I hoped it would. I wonder if it's going to be the community I was after.
What exactly were you hoping for?
For a community of people that didn't have their heads up their asses. I found that. I mean, for the most part, these people don't have their heads up their asses.
All right. So you came in
and then there's
you found exactly
Brad.
Yes, Brad. So you came in and you found exactly what you were looking for.
Mostly, yeah. There have been the oddball here and there that just, like Shock said, is the High Lord Domly Dom that has to have everyone bow in front of them to enter a dungeon that they'd never been to before. It's like, no. If you have the established respect of the community as a whole, then you're probably going to get my respect. But if you want to be just a prick about it and, try and make other people do things because you believe that you are owed that, fuck you.
And what about you, Shock?
Well, I think for everybody, especially when you're new and you're trying to imagine what an active in-person kink event is like, there is the fantasy of it and there's the reality of it. And the reality of it is definitely a different version of that. And that changes with the venue, that changes with the event, that changes with the type of event it is.
Changes with the people even.
And for me, I really didn't have an expectation of what the group would be, so much as what could I do with the opportunity.
Okay.
And I think in that case, I kind of, for the most part, got to live out my fantasy in helping to basically steer the community in a direction I thought was positive and have a very good experience for myself while I was doing it.
Okay. So let me ask you, Shock. Mm-hmm. As you've gotten older in the kink scene. Exactly
yes.
that. Have you had to change things that you do? I know, I've seen younger people, they go in and hey, I'm just gonna do this flogging scene or this whatever scene for an hour, or even saying, oh yeah, I can do like 4 or 5 scenes in the night and I'll be fine. Those people are stupid, but still, well, I'm not going to argue with them.
That's an ambition that takes 4 or 5 cooperative play partners. So, I'm not sure how often that gets pulled off. Really, the change isn't in how I play because of age. I don't think there's any way that I play has changed because of my age. The only thing that's really changed in that aspect is basically if I stay up late on a Saturday night, I get home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because we've hosted an event, we've had a play party, and we had an amazing time. The next day, it's like I got a fucking hangover.
Oh, wow.
That's one thing that changed with age. There was a certain point where staying up all night and getting up Sunday morning and going and doing stuff was easy. And it went to the next day is recovery. It is physical exhaustion, and it is complete lack of really being motivated to do anything on that following Sunday. Even if I got a decent amount of sleep, it's still, because it modifies my usual sleep pattern. And as you get older, that's actually physically hard on people, is to change their sleep pattern suddenly. That's the thing I really noticed, was the result of all I did was stay up late, and the next day I feel like I have a hangover.
Oh. Lala?
I want to answer the previous question.
Oh, that's right. We were supposed to come back to you. I apologize.
That's okay. So when I first came in, I didn't realize that there was going to be a community. Everything I experienced online was one-on-one or, in a role-playing type setting. So it was one-on-one mostly. Mm-hmm. So that's what I kind of thought. Like, I'm going to be a slave, not knowing what a slave was. That's kind of what my brain was. And then it just evolved into this amazing group of people building a dungeon and planning parties and these experiences that were just not everybody will ever get to experience because we built it from the ground up. And I'm very thankful for that.
And as somebody who walked into things that have already been built up, I'm very happy that you guys did that.
Yeah. Okay. Your second question now?
It was, as you've gotten older in the kink scene, have you had to change things that you personally do within? Like, as far as I was saying with Shock, there's some people that say, hey, I can do all this stuff in a single night and, be up the next morning to do even more.
Yeah. I was never one of those that could do more than one scene a night. That's crazy. I was more of a social butterfly, and my one scene pretty much knocked me out.
You have the scene, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
I'm done. Just come talk to me and flit around. And yeah. As I'm older now, I don't stay out as late. I don't stay at the parties as late. I don't make all the parties.
You're not here until the last person leaves anymore.
Not the last person anymore. I'm not locking the door behind you. I'm not, making sure the gate has the padlock on it, which was one of my jobs at the first dungeon.
Oh. That harkens back to a time before, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Jeez.
So.
You okay, Greedy?
I'm suddenly remembering everything about that old dungeon.
Oh.
And I'm with Shock. Sundays are after a good party and not getting a lot of sleep.
Recovery.
Because usually I'm staying the night here. My scene doesn't end when the party's done. Mine goes all night, and so in the morning it's rough to get up and play D&D, or
blame Greedy for that.
Well, I blame Brad.
Blame well
Brad.
placed.
Fucking Brad.
I know.
Hey, Brad.
Listeners, you have no idea who Brad is, but he's a bad, bad man.
As Greedy flips him off.
Brad the bad.
Brad the bad man. All right. So that's my answer. It's harder as you get older.
So, Greedy, you and I are younger. How do you think these things are going to go for you?
I'm an old man. My bones are brittle. My hips and
you can't even get the words
ache. Out. I can't even think clearly anymore.
Well, fine. That's you.
Hey, hush.
We've lost him to the Corona consumption. So
this is true.
It's just a matter of time now.
For me personally, I've had other medical issues that have affected me in doing things, but I'm still at that point where I can do more than us scene tonight, but I'm on the other side of the slash. So I'm not sitting there just taking, the hits, as it were. That takes a lot out of people. Mm-hmm. For me personally, though, I've reached that point where, like, okay, I have to listen to my body when it says, "Hey, you're tired, you're done." I actually have to listen to it now, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not up there in age. It's just medical is a bitch.
Well, gosh, saying that you could do more than one scene, Shock used to do 4, 5, 6.
Sometimes.
Oh wow!
And that's what basically the tasting is
Right.
is typically 4 hours of me doing mini scenes with people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are mini, but
Yeah, see, that's why Shock is going to outlive all of us.
right. You're going to be the Betty White of
Of kinky fuckers. Yeah, that's not a bad moniker right there. Yeah.
Shock, the Betty White. Shock, the Betty White of the local community.
Well, and it's I don't really know within my family how the health of men are as they age, because all of my predecessors all smoked themselves to death at a relatively young age. I don't know what happens if you don't spend your entire life abusing amphetamines and tobacco. I don't know what happens to someone with my particular genetic makeup.
Obviously, they become you.
Well, until my father had a stroke at almost exactly the same age I am right now, he was a tough, sturdy son of a bitch.
And now you get to outlive that and be a tough,
hopefully
sturdy
so.
son of a
Hopefully
bitch
so.
for many more years to come, hopefully. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that kind of brings up something. All right. So all of us, by comparison of the younger group coming in, the 50 Shades community, as I call them.
Yeah.
We're considered old.
older.
Yes. Yes, older. I apologize.
I will
Older.
wear that old badge with pride. Okay.
Seasoned, experienced,
Yes.
talented older gentleman.
All in the mind.
Yeah.
Age is just a number.
True. But
Except for your knees and your hips. Tell that to
Well,
them.
they can stay the heck out of it.
well, how do you all feel about seeing those younger people that are entering kink, that 18 to 25 range when they're first coming in and they are bright-eyed and wow.
I encourage the younger community to come in and explore and stuff. My problem is that, like I said, age is just a number. There are some 18-year-olds that act like they're 12. But again, there are some 40-plus-year-olds, like the gentleman that we had to ban, who act like a 12-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, the age doesn't matter. It's the maturity and the responsibility and the knowledge of what they're getting into. That's what makes the difference, So yes, I want the younger generation to be safe. I want them to come and learn. But if they're stupid and ignorant and not going to put in the time and effort to learn before they jump in and are stupid, then get the freak out. I don't want you here because you're making me nervous and uncomfortable in my own community.
Greedy, you're laughing over there.
Yeah.
You have something to say?
I could not agree with you more, Lella. That is so well put. To the stupid people, be they 18 or 80, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's just irresponsible. It brings the community down. It makes us have to say, get out, and that's uncomfortable for everybody. You're putting people at risk.
Yeah.
Well, what we provide, and when you're young and inexperienced, there's no better time to have access to it. What we provide are opportunities. We provide educational opportunities. We provide the opportunity to develop a social structure of people that'll be, I would say, non-judgmental, but I'm not really sure after that conversation.
Wait,
That people
I
will
think
be
he's calling you
accepting.
you're calling me judgmental?
Oh, yeah. In a tongue-in-cheek kind of way.
Okay.
But in any event, there will be accepting of the various kinks, etc., right? We give people those opportunities, and whether or not they take advantage of it and they grow with that, that's kind of out of our control. And for some people, that's not a good fit. For a lot of people, I think it's a very amazing resource. And if you're young and of the legal age and you're actively seeking kink, do it through a community. If you're local, do it through ours. That's maybe it's not perfect for you. Maybe you'll come and decide you want to do something else. That's fine. Get involved and take advantage of that opportunity.
Take the time to try to learn.
Try.
Just to clarify a little bit, I'm not telling every 18-year-old that comes in just because you're 18, you're not okay to be here. What I'm saying is, if you're not willing to grow, if you're not willing to
Learn.
They should recognize that
Yes.
opportunity and take advantage of it.
exactly.
Yes.
Don't-
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. But that's also out of our control.
That is.
You
That is
can lead the
entirely
horse
in
to
their
water.
control.
You cannot stuff their head in and make them swallow.
By the way, I just want to add that I am not referring to the 12-year-old. Like, what is
No,
it?
no,
The
18-year-olds.
The age.
18-year-olds.
The
No,
littles.
I'm just saying the littles,
The
the
age players.
the age players. I'm not. That's
No,
not
no,
who I'm
that-
grouping
yeah,
into
yeah.
this at all.
No. That's totally different than
Okay.
what we're talking
I just
about.
wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yeah.
There's a
I think that clarification helps.
Okay, good.
there's a stark difference between playing an age and having no fucking idea that you're just that immature.
Well, and just coming in here and thinking that you know everything,
Yes.
and then you're taught something different, but yet you continue to do it the way you think is appropriate and safe and whatever, even though, they're just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're struggling to say.
I know. Okay. Well, hopefully the listeners do too.
Remember, direct all your messages to
Candy Sweet Box.
Candy
Yeah.
Sweet Box.
Complain.
Micromanager Lala.
Let me hear it.
Well, and then one other thing I want to know. So, at this point, with what you are, with how you are now, and what you've been through, what are some of the kinks that may seem more appealing to you as being older than as to when you were younger, or what may be some kinks that you think, those young kids are really into that sort of thing that you're like, that's dumb. I'm sorry, that's dumb.
Drink.
I would not say that I think any kink is dumb. I don't understand them all. So in that aspect, I'm ignorant of it because I don't know. And I guess I am a little bit judgmental. So there are some things that are going around that I don't understand. And I think,
Wait, some things that are going around.
yeah, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to offend anybody.
Okay.
But there's
have you been on this podcast? Have you listened to this podcast?
Yeah,
before?
it would be devastatingly judgmental of me to say anything. So I don't want to.
Okay, greedy, say it.
No, he has no idea.
I don't know what she's thinking. I'm not a mind reader. I've said this to people before.
I would say definitely the younger generation coming in is way more into age play and pet play,
Okay.
than the older generation. That's not to say that there's not older people that like that, because there are.
All
It
right.
just seems more prevalent, is that the right word, in the younger generation.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I love to watch them. I love to be with them. I love their energy. I love it all.
Their knees are still okay.
Not my thing. But I do have a tendency to, like, for instance, when Bunner and I are chatting or whatever, I do drop a few ages. Like, I can't help it. I just kind of join in
Okay. That's why you're the fun aunt.
That's why. Yeah. And I love to be mauled by all the pets. It's so much fun.
Wow.
I know. But
So-
that's what I've noticed in the younger generation.
So, listeners, Lala has a mauling fetish.
Haha. I like to be held down. And that's the truth. Oh.
And Lala's now soaked.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Shot?
Well, she hit on a couple of the key points that I've noticed is that age play seems much more common, especially in the younger crowd, and I think that's appealing, especially if the little is fairly young and the daddy, the mommy, the top, whatever role that is more mature, and those ages are widely spread. I feel like that has a more natural appeal to it. The pet play is very prominent. That seems to be very popular among the younger crowds. The other things I've observed is the elaborate rope bondage and the suspension, the desire for suspension. Those things all seem to really resonate with younger people. I think partially because you can see all the photographs on FetLife, et cetera, of people in these elaborate bondage scenarios, et cetera. I think very much those are things that look incredibly appealing, and they can't wait to get out there and experience them. Yeah. They seem incredibly popular with the younger crowd.
Okay. What about you, Greedy? Any thoughts?
Between the two of them, they covered every thought I had on the matter, so thank you for making my statements for me. I appreciate that, Lala and Shock.
You're so welcome.
It's nice to let you just cruise along, Greedy Paul.
I'm cruising.
You know, one thing it's a hypothesis I've had for a long time about the younger generations, period. The people that were raised on cell phones and the internet and always had a camera in their hand, is I have this hypothesis that within, let's refer to it as dating,
Okay.
right? That there's almost an expectation of nudes on display. Your dating profiles you have up should have nudes in them. That's very common. It's very a common thing to do. It's almost an expectation before you meet somebody in person.
That you know
you're
exactly.
You're already exchanging nudes. I think that is one thing that I've noticed that, again, is my particular hypothesis. And I don't know if it's just acceptance of that and it's no big deal, or if it's pressure to follow suit. So, i.e., even if you're not that comfortable with having your nudity on your profile, whether or not there's pressure to, well, if I don't, no one's going to notice me. This isn't going to get me any attention from, I'm going to be looked over if I don't have a series of nudes to catch the eye, that kind of thing. And I'm kind of fascinated by whether or not that's the case for the younger crowd.
Along with that, from my own personal perspective, like when I was younger, college age, what's that? I have a cell phone that can get pictures. I have a computer that I can see your pictures on. Oh, send me a nude, please.
Exactly.
Because I was young, and of course.
Which is different from the crowd that were raised when you'd see pornography. It would be a black and white picture with dark black bars over the eyes and all the naughty bits. And this was pretty scandalous stuff taken in a whorehouse in Mexico and sanitized to be passed around the U.S. Compare that to, my nickname on FetLife is Shy So-and-so, and here's my vagina.
Shy
okay. But like I said, I don't know if that's just the acceptance of this thing that everybody does, or if there's an expectation that in the dating world, it's going to happen and you're going to be expected to do it to get noticed in a society of people swiping along for dating profiles. Is the nude going to be necessary to catch the eye and to get any traction, et cetera?
I think it's a generation thing, to be honest. I think it's the generation that's out right now are so much more accepting of everything, every lifestyle, every change of your body, if you want to be male or female or non-binary. There's just this overwhelming acceptance, which I think is phenomenal.
I agree.
And I think part of that is also, hey, if I want to be nude and I want to show you my nudes, I'm going to do it because everybody likes it.
And I believe there should be no shame in that. That
Right.
isn't something that someone should be ashamed to do.
Right.
It's just a generational change that I've noticed. And and the other part being is whether or not there's pressure to do it, just societal pressure to conform to that.
I don't think there is pressure so much as there was when I was like internet dating, we'll call it, I didn't want to send my nudes right away. I wanted to have a relationship and establish
something.
respect and all that before I would do that. But I think now it's like,
And now her nudes are all over the internet.
right, you want to see me naked? Here, just check out my fet. I don't, as Shock pulls
I'm
out
getting
his
my
phone.
phone, yes.
I just think it's more accepted these days. And thankfully for me, I have an open mind, so I kind of have transformed with it. Is that the right word, transformed?
Yes.
Anyway, so that's my thought. You didn't ask me. I'm just sharing.
No. You were going. Greedy, you look like you have a thought in your head.
I'm just enjoying considering the perspectives of the people that I've heard so far. It's worded in a way that I had never worded it before, in a way that I had never thought to word it. And
Can you be more specific for the listeners? What exactly are you focusing on?
no.
And that's why he does the spoken word, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why he wanted to definitely be on this podcast.
Definitely.
It's I don't know.
Thoughts to be posted on Discord later?
Yes, I think so. I'm gonna need to re-listen to this just to get it down how I want to get it down, because
Listeners,
I
he
don't
wants
know
to
what
get
to say.
down.
Get down, boogie down.
Showing your age.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking hard to hide.
These were really good questions. Awesome.
yeah,
Agreed.
I try.
I'm really impressed.
I'm
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm impressed as well.
You get a star.
You're not so welcome.
An A+.
Yay!
I was gonna give him a gold star, now it's a silver.
Well, nobody wants your stars, Greedy. I said it.
Damn.
What you got to do?
Stiletto will wear my star.
As he flips them off.
I called him Stiletto.
So, Shock,
Yes.
you had something in the notes here. Something about a date for a luau?
Yes. Here in Bakersfield, we have set the date for our annual luau, which will be the third Saturday in July, July 18th. We've dialed that in. Our luau is an amazing event. It's a tremendous amount of fun. It takes place at the Shock Dock compound in our swimming pool. It's beautiful decor because micromanager Lala is amazing at what she does. It's terrific food. It's alcohol friendly. It's a real casual attitude, whether or not you wear swimwear. It is one of our most fun events of the year, and we've got that date on the calendar, and that event link is up on my profile and posted to our calendar, our second quarter calendar near the bottom as well.
And this is all hoping that the pandemic is over by then.
It is hoping that the pandemic has subsided and that the Shock Dock compound's upgrades and additions are dialed in, but I believe they will be.
Okay. That sounds like a great plan. Look, I'm looking forward to the future at this point.
We need to look forward to the future.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Greedy Paul's not going to survive, but the rest of us need to plan ahead and look forward to the
You're
future.
wrong. He got his Lyme. He's going to be great.
Oh, thank goodness. Modern medical science is a miracle, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute miracle. When you take a festering, withering husk of a man like Greedy Paul, and you can give him these modern medications, and he recovers.
Yay!
I hereby take back all that cool stuff I said about you, Shock. I'm going to go suck on my lime now.
Hey, Greedy, any closing thoughts?
I just gave it. I'm going to go suck on a lime.
Hey, Lala, closing thoughts?
I'm going to watch him suck on that lime. No, seriously, though.
You're watching him suck on the line?
I am going to watch him suck on the lime, but also, please wash your hands after touching everything. Don't touch your face, and just be smart. And don't hoard the toilet paper.
I heard a terrific joke that works with this. It is the concept of you treat hand washing like Texans do. You pretend you were just slicing jalapenos for nachos, and the next thing you got to do is change your contacts. Now wash your hands in between.
Yep.
Oh yeah, thoroughly.
Are those your closing thoughts, Shock, or you have something more?
My closing thoughts are: please be good human beings. Be good to each other. Check in on those that are stranded at home and can't risk getting out. Don't fucking hoard shit that you're not going to need or you think is just going to turn you a quick profit at other people's expense. Everybody needs toilet paper. Everybody can use sanitizing wipes and bleach. Just be good to each other. That's all, man. It's as simple as that. Be good to each other.
Awesome.
And for me, I got to kind of go alongside with Shock. Be good to each other. Please stop trying to turn a profit on somebody else's misery. If you know somebody that needs to take a shit, please give them at least a roll of toilet paper. Don't turn this into what country is that where they use the left hand to wipe?
India.
India. Yes.
No, that's Middle Eastern.
Is it not India? I don't. Sorry.
Well, there's plenty of places around the world where the toilet is just a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just a hole. We have indoor plumbing. We have toiletries and toilet paper. Quit being bitches.
And remember, the spray nozzle in your sink doubles as a bidet.
Oh. And with that, we are out.
Bye.
Don't die.
Well done.
I stole your line.
Hey, that's okay.
I'm just getting back to you because you do it to me all the time.
It's okay. That works. Eventually, one day, Greedy will get his own line.
No, he
Maybe.
So you know what this means, right? Now we have to come to him to be the last person. So he makes up a line for himself.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he's going to go suck a lime. That could be his line.
Oh, we should talk to the listeners. Say, hey, what do you think Greedy's closeout should be?
That's a great idea.
Oh.
All right, next
I am
episode.
mildly afraid, but
25 words or less, he must repeat them verbatim.
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 I will pick the top 3, and the listeners will choose from those 3.
All right, next episode, we're going to reach out to the listeners.
Well, next episode, whenever that may be, because we got a lot of episodes in the bank now. Well, we're getting them.
All right.
Yay. All right, we're done.
Peace.